Hi, this is Trash Dev. I'm Tapioca, a speedrunner and Twitch streamer. Game dev has been a hobby of mine for a long time, but I've always been bad at staying focused. Today I'm starting what I hope to be a series of videos documenting my progress on my current project. I hope that by making these videos I can stay focused, accomplish more, and work on my non-existent video editing skills. So, with this video we're starting essentially in the middle of things. My game is called Lakeside, and it's a fishing-themed adventure RPG. I first thought up the idea for the game all the way back in 2016, and what you're seeing on screen now is my first attempt at making it from that time. The screen is so small because it's the same tile size and resolution as a Game Boy Color game. I remember the engine being capable of some pretty interesting things, but for some reason this map file is the only thing I've got. You can step on this tile to go into the fishing mode, which is basically where I gave up. The interesting thing about this old project is that I've also still got the map editor, which you can see here. To be honest, I don't remember what any of this stuff does anymore. This is actually my second attempt at making this editor, hence the 2, and I remember the original version being in Java and being even less comprehensible. My main takeaways from this first attempt at Lakeside are that the codebase and especially the editor needs to be better documented, so that I'll always understand what to do if I come back after a long break, and that the editor and the main game should ideally be merged together into one codebase, so that I don't have to maintain 2 different versions of all the map saving and loading code. Now let's take a look at the current version of Lakeside and see where we stand today. So, this is Lakeside as it exists today. The whole game is written in C# using Monogame, which is an open source implementation of Microsoft's old XNA framework. This is horribly outdated tech, and I'm gonna have to migrate to FNA at some point. This is also far from the easiest way to make the game, but I'm doing this mainly for fun, and making the engine and all of its tools from scratch is what I find fun, somehow. I should mention as well before we really get into this that I've upgraded the game to run at the super high resolution of 640 by 360. I picked this low resolution because I want the art assets to still be really low resolution and easy to draw, and this resolution in particular scales up cleanly to 720 and 1080p. So, let's start a new game then. Right now when you start a new game it drops you onto this overworld screen. I did spend a lot of time working on this overworld screen, but it kind of doesn't really fit with my vision of the game right now, and I don't really like the look of this very much, so I think I'm just gonna end up scrapping this. Let's go to the village though, because this is the most detailed map right now. And as you can see, it's an RPG village. It looks exactly like you would expect an RPG village to look. Sort of retro style. I'm not much of an artist, so this is pretty much as good as it's gonna get from me. Right now the player starts with a boat. I don't think in the final game you will start with the boat, you'll have to obtain it somehow, but the boat lets you go around on the water. I do not have the boat that lets you go into deep water right now, but that boat does exist as well. So the real feature of this engine that I'm proud of is that at any time we can press F1 and it brings up the editor overlay. So now we're live editing the map that we're playing in, and I can scroll around, we can select a tile and start editing its properties. So I can make this grass into water. We can adjust whether or not it's walkable, we can adjust the water depth to it, things like that. We can add a Lewis script to the tile. The Lewis script will be executed when you walk on the tile, and yes, it is full Lewis scripting integration. I plan on using Lewis scripts for tile scripts, NPCs, cutscenes, a lot of the fishing as well is going to be controlled through Lewis scripts. I've got a whole API that I've already written for that I'll show you in a minute. But once we've got our tile, we now have it in the buffer and we can just sort of paint it around with the mouse like this. And now, when I come out of editing mode by pressing F1 again, there it is, there's our lake we just made. I can boat around in the lake just like I could boat around in the ocean that I already had. I want to show you a bit more of the scripting system, so I have another map prepared for that I made a long time ago. Let me come back out to the editor, let me scroll over here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the overworld script on here. This is a script that I wrote a while back. And now when we walk over to this door to exit the town, we'll get this yes/no prompt to get out to the world map, and I'll click on that, and we're back out to the world map, and we can come over here to the forest. Here we are in the forest. This is a very old test map, but we have a much more complex NPC here just to sort of show off the power of the scripting system. So we have tile scripts in front of him. Well, first of all, we can just talk to him like this. Lovely weather we're having today. But we've got tile scripts in front of him as well, so if I step on one of these, we end up in his line of sight. He's then able to pathfind in front of me, turn to face me, and then start a sort of conversation. And I can sort of bother him. He can set himself to be a follower of me, so now he's going to follow me around, and he's going to keep following me around until I talk to him again, where he now says something different, and I'll say howdy to him, and now he'll stop following me. So now that I've shown you everything that we've got in the game so far, I want to show what the progress is on fishing, because obviously I just showed you a bunch of RPG and editor stuff, but this is supposed to be a fishing game, and so far you've seen no fishing. So that's kind of what I'm up to right now. I can press F, and it opens up this thing. I don't know how happy I am with this. I never really quite finished working on it. But it lights up the tiles that your current fishing rod is able to reach, so different fishing rods have a different range. And so this one had a range of, I guess, 3 probably. So we can aim at things that are 3 tiles away. And once you select your tile, you're meant to cast the line out and then start fishing. If I press F to cast the line again, absolutely nothing happens because I haven't implemented the fishing yet, because that's where I'm at. I need a way to assign fish to tiles. And I've been thinking about it for a while, and what I've basically landed on is that we're going to have a separate program. I know, I just talked about how great integrating things into one program are, but we're going to have a separate program editing a unwieldy large JSON file. I think that's the play, and within that file there will be fish, and also fish tables, and we'll be able to create fish and define all of their characteristics and their sprite and their functions and whatnot. And then with the tables, we'll be able to assemble those fish into tables, assign them probabilities for being fished up, stuff like that. And then once that's done, we'll be able to use that program to export the JSON file, import it into, Lakeside proper, and then assign those tables to different tiles. That's how I'm going to go about doing it. Anyway, that's everything. I don't have a release schedule planned for these videos, because it's going to depend on how quickly I work and have something worth showing off. Hopefully this will be part 1 of a series, so feel free to subscribe to this channel for updates. Leave a comment if you've got any feedback, because this is actually the first time I've shown most of this stuff off, so I've basically never received any feedback ever. Thanks for watching.